Okay, I made a couple of videos in tribute to Berserker 793. I was getting tired of arguing with the guy about race. I felt that maybe if I can somehow, as best as I can, objectively analyze his viewpoint, maybe I can understand it more. Perhaps there's more kernel of truth in his viewpoint than I actually believed. However, I want to skip that and I want to talk to you guys about, and I want to talk to black anti-racists, because I'm speaking only, and I'm not trying to be discriminatory. I mean, whites can join in the conversation, but I specifically want to talk to black anti-racists who believe that there is a ruling class of white people that make extraordinary amounts of money, extraordinary amounts of wealth, that this ruling class is trying to find ways to keep the black people down because they feel that blacks are a threat to their wealth. Because I've talked to a lot of black anti-racists, and they'll say the white man is trying to keep the black man down. Well, do you mean this white person over here? Well, no, not him. We're not talking about regular white people. We're talking about the white people that are like, the highest level of government. And, the highest level, not the highest level of government, but the very top. They own the politicians, they own the presidents. They are super wealthy, man. I mean, super wealthy. I mean, no one will accumulate, no one will accumulate their wealth based upon their oppressive tactics. And I'm thinking to myself, when a black anti-racist says this, if these people are so wealthy, how can you be a threat? I mean, how will you take away money from these guys? Think about it. If making making $200,000 per year is basically beyond above average. It's actually like, it's like 10 times the amount, the average pay scale of the average person. Okay, let me make this figure a little larger. $330,000. Okay, $330,000 is 10 times as much as $33,000, which is the national average. It's 10 times the amount. Are you trying to tell me that this white ruling class that owns like all this land is concerned about some black guy that's trying to jump from a $33,000 job to a $330,000 job? I mean, this white mythical, well, I'm not saying they're mythical, but this white ruling class that has this much amount of wealth really doesn't give a fuck about black upward mobility. They don't really think about it. Why would they? I mean, how will you take away their wealth? If they're making trillions of dollars, okay, how do you fathom that you're going to take away their wealth? Okay? The notion of the federal government trying to blockade blacks from power, I mean, I need to hear some more theories on this. What is the motive of this? I mean, are you trying to tell me that, the federal government wants to make a permanent underclass which does weaken their society? Think about it. A permanent underclass weakens America. I mean, are you saying that the white nationalists are basically puppets and, they're being used by the ruling white class to create a chasm between blacks who are being manipulated to cause crime, sell drugs in their own neighborhood, rape at a brutal rate against the white counterparts? So the white nationalists used as a tool to actually try to create a movement to destroy the black race because some other white ruling class is manipulating the white. What's his name? St. Q says the white supremacists, which he doesn't say regular white people. The white supremacists that are super rich. Come on, man. I mean, that sounds no different from the Jewish garbage that white nationalists continue to pump out. The Jew is using a black to destroy the white race, not the regular Jews. this ruling class of communist Jews, you know, this super rich class, super wealthy class of communist Jews that's way up in the sky. We don't know who they, well, we know who they are, but they're so smart that they're trying to use the blacks to destroy the white race so they can rule all over the races. I mean, if you look at anti-Semitism, the theories of anti-Semitism that Quest 1, 2, 3, 4 is using, and be blunt, the anti-white racism that some parts of the left are using, it's basically the same. It's never the regular Jew, it's never the regular white person, it's always this ruling class that has so much wealth. They're worried about some Negroes and fucking, you know, Negroes and lower class people obtaining wealth. I mean, that's just garbage to me. But this type of bullshit continues to be pumped out in the black community. And I don't want to talk to, I'm not sorry to talk to white nationalists that are trying to exploit this. Say, see? No. I want to talk to the black anti-racists themselves. You explain to me how this can be possible. I mean, I just don't see it possible. I don't see a ruling class. Why would a ruling class that has so much wealth need to worry, first of all, worry about you? Can you say that back in history? I guess you can. Guess maybe the relationship with history in terms of slavery, where, you know, blacks were used for free slave labor, and that increased profits. I mean, I think that maybe that's part of the reason that inspired this extreme theory, but I don't see any other thing. Okay, they're already rich. Okay. It doesn't make sense to me, but I'm finished with that point. My next point is, in its relation to the other point, I'm going to make it very quick. This is a historical point. Racism was used by the super white, wealthy ruling class to demonize a group of people so that they can have free labor. And if they have free labor, they don't have to pay for, you don't have to pay for this labor, and they accumulate more wealth. Here's the stereotype. The stereotype is that rich people, regardless of their race, have no morality, and they feel that they're going to lie to their own people and say that this class is inferior when they know that they're not inferior, so they can gain more profit. I'm sure it may happen once in a while, but to say that, I mean, you have to say that the elite white ruling class had no morals whatsoever. Now, I'm not saying to defend the white ruling class, which contributed to slavery in making African slaves, but to say that their morality is so perverted that they knew that the blacks were not equal to the whites, so therefore they created a lie so they can have slave labor. I mean, some of these rich people do actually care about, you know, these rich people that you objectified. I'm not saying that they're right about slavery. I mean, just trying to say that they're incapable of, I mean, basically you're probably saying that they're psychotic. Again, it does not take away the fact that they contributed as equally to the slave culture as the poor white Southerners. I think both of those guys are equal. You know, I want to hear from what black anti-racists, you know, how do they come up with these theories?